Hello and welcome. In this video, we will look at the information you should include on a school's project front page and how to arrange it perfectly. Remember that the front page is the first thing that the teacher will see when they are reviewing your work or your project. So before reading your introduction, checking your research or even examining your findings, the teacher will notice how you have presented the project from the first page. Therefore, a good front page creates a positive first impression. It makes your work look organized, complete, and professional. So in this video, we are going to look at exactly how you can do that to organize your first page correctly. Let us begin with the project title. Now, the title is the most important information on the front page. Why? Because it clearly explains what the project is about. You need to write it in large, bold, and easy to read letters, preferably near the upper center of the page. You should also avoid vague titles like my school project. You are supposed to use titles like, for example, construction of an hexagonal pen holder. I have used that title because it is a project that was recently given to grade 9 students. You can also use a title like effects of soil erosion in our community, or a title like making a reusable shopping bag. You see, so all those are titles that you can use. If your teacher has provided the official title, you are supposed to use that title exactly as it was given, but do not shorten or change it unless you have been instructed to do so by your teacher. Now, below the title, you may include a relevant picture, or maybe a drawing, or simply a design. For example, a project about tree planting may include a small drawing of seedling, and a project about making a wooden item may include a neat sketch of the completed product. So the image should support the project's topic. It should not distract attention from the important details on the page. Now, one clear image is usually better than filling the entire page with decorations. It should be just one image that clearly shows what your project is about. And then next, you can now include the learner's information. And here, you're supposed to write your full name correctly and clearly. You may introduce it using the word maybe prepared by or presented by and then your name. You are supposed to use the same name that appears in the school official records. So do not write your nickname, write your full name as it appears in your school records. You should also include your admission number or your student identification number. And if your school, that is if your school requires it, or if you have it in your school, it is also very important to include. This is particularly important when several learners have similar names. The teacher is going to differentiate you with the other student based on your student identification number. So after your name, you are supposed to write your grade or your class, your stream, your course, or department, depending on the level of education that you are in. For example, you may write grade 9 Rehema, or grade 9 Neema, or maybe grade 6 Imani. You see, that depends on which class you are in. So the front page should also show the school's name. You're supposed to include the name of your school. And here you need to write the complete official name of the school and check the spelling carefully. Do not make a mistake. They actually do not make any mistake in the first page when it comes to spelling. So if the school requires its logo to be included, it is rare, but some schools may require, you can place a clear copy near the top of the page. Do not stretch or blur or modify the logo, just let it remain as it has been provided by your school. Then after that, you should then include the subject or the learning area. For example, you can write agriculture, pre-technical studies, social studies, home science, integrated science, just whatever subject that you are covering in that project, because it is a project, yes, but it is under a specific subject or learning area. So if the project has been prepared for a specific teacher, you can write submitted to, followed by the teacher's name. So here, this is where you include the name of your teacher, submitted to, then your teacher's name. Always use the teacher's correct title and spelling. That is also very important, a very important detail of submission. Then next, you are supposed to include the date of submission. And here you need to write the complete date if it is known. Of course it is known because you are the one submitting the project. So you need to include the complete date, and this complete data should have the date, the month, and also the year. You can also include the term of the school. For example, term 2, 2nd July 2026 or July 2nd 2026, whichever date format is allowed by your school. Some schools may require additional information like the project number, the group members, maybe if it was a group project, the examination center, maybe your supervisor, your maybe a short assessment explaining why the project was prepared, and all that, whatever is needed. One thing you need to do is to be clear on the directions and the instructions that have been given by your teacher or your school to follow when developing that project. Now let us discuss the arrangement of the first page. A front page should have a clear visual order. The school name and the logo may appear at the top, and then the project title should be the most noticeable text, so it should be in bold. The learner's details, the subject, and the teacher's names, and also the submission date can then be arranged below, that is below the title. So you need to leave enough space between the different sections. Between one section to the next, you leave enough space. Do not squeeze everything together, and do not place information too close to one another or at the edges of the page. Let them be at the center of the page. So one thing to always remember is that a strong front page is supposed to combine correct information with neat presentation. You do not need expensive materials or complicated decoration to have a clear first page. You just need a clear title, accurate details, and balanced spacing, and also relevant images where applicable to make your first page look impressive and well prepared. I hope that this video was helpful to you. If it was, please help and share with someone who might benefit from this information. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.